What's up everyone, I'm Alec, this is Cinemoto, and this week I picked up some 80cc bikes. Not just one, not even two, but three. I picked up three vintage 80cc rippers. I'm gonna get to this one a little bit later this year, but for now I wanna get these Yamahas. So even though this one on my left here looks pretty much complete and it looks like the correct bike to fix up and then maybe use this one as the parts bike, that's not really the case here. This one seems to be locked up, and it's also got this Kickstarter shaft almost completely sheared off. They actually had the Kickstarter welded to it, but the weld broke and it fell off. One chassis is slightly better than the other, so I think what we're gonna do is just take the motors out of both of these, strip them down, go through both motors, make one nice motor, and then just reassemble one bike completely. First things first, we're just gonna have to strip both these bikes down to the chassis, get the motor out, and kind of see what's the better frame to go with. So I think at this point, I pulled these clutch covers off. This motor is locked up or it doesn't seem to want to spin. This one spins freely. I really don't want to use these cases because somebody actually cut the back of the case off on both sides here. This one has a welded on inner hub tab here. This one has a good inner hub. This outer hub is grooved. This outer hub is good. One had a better clutch than the other. So basically, neither of these engines is in good shape. But together, I could probably piece together a pretty decent engine. So I ordered new gaskets, and the goal here is to just strip these things totally down and put one back together. So this hole here where this stud used to go was completely stripped out. It had a helicoil in it and I didn't want to reuse that. So I ended up just welding that back closed. I got this marked out and center punched. Now I'm going to drill it out and then we're going to tap it and then rethread the stud back in here. This is really the right way to fix this. quick tip. I was just putting the clutch and everything back together, but before I put the side cover on completely, I always shift every engine I rebuild through every gear to make sure everything's working correctly. In doing so, I realized that this little retaining clip I forgot. So I got a new retaining clip on here. What happened was this shaft was sliding back and forth. Make sure you get everything on here and shift through all your gears to make sure everything's operating exactly how it should. All right, now we gotta get this tank cleaned on this YZ80. As you can see inside, it's pretty dirty, but if you look to the bottom, it's not too bad. There's a little bit of gas left in there. The petcock does work, which is a great sign. So we're gonna try and get all this out. I just got this cheap pack of nuts. We're gonna throw this in here. If you get ones big enough, they're easy to get back out, but those will help when we shake it to knock some of that rust loose. And then we're gonna just add apple cider vinegar. Let that sit in there for at least a day and shake it as continuous as we can and see what kind of results we get. Alrighty, so I'm here with the completed 1978 Yamaha YZ80, and this thing came out pretty good. Definitely a different project for me. The goal here was to do this spending the least amount of money as possible, and I think we achieved that pretty well. I'm going to add up the totals here as we go through it, and then you'll know exactly how much I spent. But basically this started out, I got two of these things. I paid $243 for both of them, and I just went through, took the two bikes, broke them all down, every nut and bolt, and put this bike back together. I did some painting along the way. I freshened it up. I got new handlebars on here. This was just out of my stockpile. This is from KLX 110. New grips, levers. Other than that, we pretty much reused almost everything down to the tires. The front number plate and the side panels I did get from DC VMX, so those are pretty much the only new things on here other than the chain. I did utilize a aftermarket brake pull lever or pull rod just because I could not find an OEM Yamaha one, as well as on this side the airbox, the inner airbox piece. I just couldn't find an OEM one. I looked all over eBay and I still have yet to locate one, so for now it's not there, but eventually that can be installed once once we come across one. Yeah, I think this thing came out pretty darn good, and for an engine that basically I just put some nuts, bolts, and gaskets in and left it all stock. Other than that, this thing actually runs pretty darn good. Thank you guys for watching this, and there's going to be a bunch more of these things to come, so subscribe for more.